Hey, welcome back to Girlfriend Let Me Tell You the podcast because I've got something to say. On my podcast, I share personal stories and experiences that relate to most single Black mothers. I want to help every listener see the world through the eyes of someone else or just simply help other single Black mothers realize that you are not alone. I talk about parenting, careers, relationships with family, dating, finances, and so much more. Because if you know, like I know, single Black mothers have done it all. I'm your host, Tasha. Today's episode is sponsored by A Cup of Stars Tarot, where all of your tarot card reading needs are fulfilled. Daily tarot card pulls are on TikTok and Facebook. You can also get your own personalized tarot card reading delivered to your email address. All details are located in the show notes below. Tarot card readings are meant for entertainment purposes and should not be used in lieu of speaking to any health care professional, such as a physician or therapist, etc. So you can find A Cup of Stars Tarot by the name of Cup of Stars Tarot on Facebook and TikTok. Enjoy the episode. All right, so I hope that everybody's doing good today. I wanted to come on and talk about living below your means. I wanted to talk about that because it seems like that is the advice that a lot of people give whenever someone has these high expectations of how they should be living their life when they are working hard. And the thing about working hard is you can work hard no matter what your wages are. You could be someone making minimum wage and you're working hard. You could be someone who is like middle class and you're working hard. You could be someone who is extremely financially blessed. You could be a millionaire or a billionaire working hard to get to where you are or to maintain what it is that you have. The thing is, I've noticed that the only time someone or anyone has told me to live below my means is when my means were maxed out. Like there's no room for me to live below what I'm making because I'm simply not making enough. And just looking back, there's a whole lot of cliches and a lot of things that people say that clearly they don't make any sense now. And it'll put someone who is already at a strain financially, it will make them crash out, as the young people like to say, to make them, you know, just go crazy. Like I remember when I was making $10 an hour. And I always now that I have a podcast, I realize that I have a lot of stories from when I was making $10 an hour, $12 an hour, even when I was making $18 an hour. Um, there are stories that I have to tell, and one of them is whenever I was making that amount of money, and I would be like, man, after I pay my bills, I have no money left over. Like all I have is enough money to put in my car to go to work for the next 2 weeks to wait for another check. Like that's all I had. And whenever I would do these side businesses, I used to make t-shirts. And when I was making t-shirts, that little bit of money was enough to buy a couple more groceries or to maybe go to the laundromat because I didn't have a washer and dryer after I moved out of my townhouse that I was renting. But after I moved out of my townhouse, I didn't have a washer and dryer. So now that money goes to that. It was like it was always something. And there would be these commercials, or there would be certain people, like I was a single mother living in a two-bedroom apartment with my son, and his dad was active, but still my bills weren't his bills. And there would be people at my job who were married, or they had a live-in boyfriend or a live-in girlfriend, and they would say, all you gotta do is live below your means. And I'm like, but you have a two-income household. So, of course, living below your means is easy if you have two incomes and you have basic bills. But people would tell me certain things, and this is what I want to say to y'all. If you are going to give someone advice, make sure you ask questions first. Because people were telling me that I should cut off my cable bill. I didn't have a cable bill. People would tell me I should turn off my home Wi-Fi. I didn't have home Wi-Fi. All only bills I had was my car note, my car insurance. You know what I'm saying? I had both of them. I had my electric bill. I'm gonna need that. I had my phone bill, which was very inexpensive because I was with Cricket Wireless, which I still am today with Cricket Wireless. And I had my rent. And then I had to put gas in the car. And then I had to buy groceries because when I started making $18 an hour, I wasn't on food stamps. I didn't have food stamps at all. The only um what you call it? The only dang, what's the word? The only support I had or welfare that I had was Medicaid, and that was for my son. So I didn't have anything else other than Medicaid. So I was paying for food out of pocket. I didn't have anything extra. I didn't have cable. I didn't have internet. I didn't have a whole lot of subscriptions. I didn't have any subscriptions. I didn't even have Netflix. I didn't have any of those things. And people were saying, well, live below your means. Well, I've already maxed out on my means. Whenever I pay all of my bills, sometimes the only money I had left over for the next 2 weeks would be like $300. And with that $300, I still have to put gas in my vehicle to get back and forth to work. And don't let anything happen out of the ordinary. Don't let me have any surprises because guess what? It wasn't going to get paid for. It just wasn't. So I feel like people were telling me to live below my means, and I'm pretty sure someone else can relate too. But how am I supposed to do that? Because if I live below my means, something is not going to get paid. And it's not something frivolous that I want to do. It's not something extra that I want to do, like get my nails done, get my hair done, or just buy some extra fingernail polish, or buy some hair, or go and buy some lip gloss. I wasn't doing any of those things. So I was thinking about it, and now I feel like instead of telling someone to live below their means, we should be telling people to increase their means. And there's a couple ways, more than a couple, but there's a few ways that people can do that. Because there are people in the world who are extremely skilled. They have all these specialties about themselves. They have all this magic about themselves. They have all these things that they can do that they are not putting out into the world. And I don't know if it's because someone else is stifling how they think about themselves or what it is, but I personally feel like the people who are making just enough money to get by, or the people who aren't even making enough money to get by, I feel like you need to apply for the jobs and the careers that will make your life easier and better financially. Now, during the pandemic, and I've told this maybe once, twice, or three times, but during the pandemic, I was like, I don't want to work in a call center anymore. And I have a cousin who was doing resumes at the time, and she was advertising that she was, a resume writer. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me try her out. She took the resume that I had and she enhanced it. And let me tell you, the resume that she sold to me was the exact same thing that I gave her, but she hyped it up so well that I was like, who is this? She just took my words and she made them more appealing to whoever was reading it. She even asked me, "What did you do when you were not working? What about this gap? Let's talk about this gap." And then she even filled that in. Then at the jobs that I had, she she built on the skills that I had, and she built on the things that I had learned how to do. So instead of me being a beginner whenever I go to this new job that I'm trying to get, I was a novice. Like I knew what I was doing. I was on expert levels of some of the things that were on my resume. So I'm saying that to say this. Some of you are not talking yourselves up to get the pay that you deserve. And even though you're saying, oh, I'm worth more than that, well, can you put your worth into words? Can you put it on paper and hand it to somebody and say, this is why you should hire me and pay me this salary that you are offering? Because my thing is, instead of living below the means that you have, increase your means and live comfortably. So I like to think that you could make a list of all the things that you currently have to pay for. And this might be an exercise that you've done before and you've looked at it and go, God dang, I'm not making enough money. And that's the answer. The answer is you're not making enough money. I've been in situations where I wasn't making enough money to save. When they say put away $100 a month, I don't have that. It was one point where they were saying just put away $10 a week. I don't have that neither. That's $40. At times I didn't have $40 to put away per month. And this is even when I had income based housing, I couldn't put away $40. Sounds sad, right? And it was. But I'm going to tell you something. I am going to include a worksheet. I am going to include a worksheet with this podcast. If you go ahead and look in the show notes, it's going to be there. It's going to be a worksheet that I want you to fill out so that you can see some possibilities of how you can increase your means and live comfortably. You don't have to quit your job. In most cases, you don't have to work two jobs. You can just get a better career that is going to support your lifestyle. I believe that everyone should be afforded a lifestyle. I don't think that we should always have to be struggling. The struggle doesn't have to be real. We just make it real because sometimes the advice that we are getting is from people who wouldn't even take their own advice. There are people who are making $100,000 per year, $150,000 per year, $500,000 per year, and they're telling people like you, just live below your means. Who cares if you make $20,000 a year? Who cares if you make $22,000 a year? Just live below your means. What? In 2025? There's no way. There's no way you can live below your means and live comfortably unless you're one of those people who likes to live off the grid. If you're one of those people who has a farm that's paid for and you plant your own food and you have your own animals and you slaughter them for meat and you live by candlelight at night and you listen to a radio on the AM station, if you're not one of those people, trust me, you are missing out on life if you are trying to live below your means and you do not have the money to even live comfortably. And when I say comfortably, I mean in the wintertime. Now this is a luxury for me. A luxury for me is knowing that when it's cold outside, I can turn my heat up to 72. I don't have to live on 68 or 69 degrees all winter just to save on my electric bill. If I'm cold, I can warm myself up. And I'm the type of person I'll turn my heat up to say, and yes, I'm bragging. I'll turn my heat up to 75 degrees and still crack a window and turn the fan on. I'm the type of person in the summertime. Now, I did move into a new apartment this year. Well, I'm sorry, last year. So whenever I moved into the apartment, I have ceiling fans. In my old home, I had ceiling fans, but I didn't have that much air circulating through the house, so it was just pretty much pushing heat. But now I have ceiling fans, and the sun doesn't shine in my house to a point where it's always hot in here. So luckily, during the spring and summer, I didn't have to crank my air up all the time to stay cool. I just turned the ceiling fan on and cracked the window or opened the window all the way, right? And I was cool. But being able to live comfortably means, yes, I want to cook dinner, but while the casserole is in the oven, I'm going to run out and grab me something to eat right quick. I'm going to go get me an ice cream cone. I'm going to go grab me some Chinese food, and the food I'm cooking tonight can wait till tomorrow. Something like that. Or, yes, I need a new pair of pants because these have a hole in them and these are my work pants. I'm not going to sit here and try to buy a needle and thread. I'm going to go buy some more work pants. It means whenever something comes up like your child's birthday, you don't have to just give them a card or just wish them a happy birthday or give them $10. You can actually splurge on your child's birthday. Like you have money for special occasions. You have money for whenever somebody hits you up at the last minute, like, you know what, I was thinking we should do this. And you're like, yeah, we should. You should have enough money to where you can take a day off of work and use your vacation time and you're not worried about your check being messed up. That's the luxury of living comfortably without living so far below your means that you're just dirt poor. Like there are poor people who are trying to live below their means when their means are when the money that they have is not supporting what they're already doing. When you don't have money to support the necessities, something's got to give. And it's not always trying to pinch pennies and save. Rich people love to give poor people advice. And poor people take rich people's advice because the people are rich, but these rich people aren't living by these customs anymore. And believe it or not, some of the ones who did live by it, this was like in the 80s, the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. But you can't use that same method in the 2020s. You just simply cannot. So, whenever it comes to a point where you write down, this is how much I pay to live where I live. This how much I pay to drive what I drive, plus the insurance, plus an estimate of how much gas I use. And whenever people calculate gas, they usually calculate from home to work, from work to home, or from work to home to school to work to home to school to home, right? You might just want to go see the city one day. You might want to take a day trip or whatever the case may be. But I want you to write down and list down how much your expenses are every month. And that's how much money you need to make to take care of your living expenses. And then I want you to make a list of the things that you want to do outside of that, outside of bills, outside of um, things that you are obligated to pay for. You know, how much do those things cost? And you can go crazy with that. You can say, shoot, I do want to get my feet done. And maybe not every 2 weeks, but just once a month. If I could just go get a pedicure once a month, how much does that cost? I would like to go out and eat dinner. And I'm not talking about going through the drive through and grabbing something to come back to the house. I want to go somewhere and sit down and have a meal. It doesn't matter if I have a waitress who's bringing it to me or if I get to go up and go to the buffet. I want to sit in an establishment and enjoy a meal. Now that it's getting warm outside, I want to go to the movies. Whatever it is that you want to do, you don't even have to limit yourself. And once you get that list down, we need to find a way for you to make that much money too. And I'm encouraging you to find someone um who can enhance your resume and start looking for other jobs. And you have to get out of the mindset of I've worked in a call center for the past 10 years, so I'm gonna look for another call center job. Because a lot of people who work in call centers, they don't even like customer service. They don't even like doing customer service over the phone. They don't like talking to people and getting fussed out and cussed out. That's a stress level to itself. And every call center I worked at gave us they gave us holidays or vacation days, but we couldn't use them because every time we asked for a day off, oh, we can't give it to you off because somebody already asked for that. Oh, we can't give it to you off because we're short staffed. So what's the point of having these days if I can't use them? The job I have now, I can get days off. And I like my job so much that my days are still adding up. And yes, I'm going to brag. I have over 700 hours that I could use to take off of work. And I've only been there for 2 years, almost 2.5 years. And I have vacation time, holiday time, um, um, community service time. I even have a personal holiday time that I can use, and they will give it to me. There's no reason for jobs to hype you up like, oh, you got all this vacation time, but I mean, you can't use it. Like, what's the point? Hey, real quick, are you enjoying the episode so far? I surely hope so. I want to remind you that all of the details for this episode are down below in the show notes, so do not forget to check that out. And also, I want to remind you that you can go ahead and sign up to be a part of my emailing list. I have so many great things coming up this season, and I want you to be a part of it. So, look in the show notes below, leave a comment on how you like this episode, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Enjoy the rest of the episode. So I challenge you, whoever is listening to this, whoever has been told to live below the means that you don't have, I challenge you to do what it takes to go out there and get a better job. And I'm not just saying, oh, just go out there and get a better job. There's jobs everywhere. I'm telling you, fix up your resume. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I paid, oh man, did I pay $45 or $35? I don't know. I asked her to do it twice. I think I paid $45 the first time. The first time I think I paid $45 to get my resume done. And I got some great job offers. However, like I told y'all, this was during the pandemic. So she doctored up my resume. I got a good paying job. And when I was doing it, when I was looking for jobs, I was like, I'm tired of working nights. I'm tired of working weekends. I want me a Monday through Friday job from 9 to 5, right? 9 to 5 are those cliche hours that people talk about. I said I want a Monday through Friday job from 9 to 5. Well, I ended up getting a Monday through Friday job from 8 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday, weekends off. And don't you know, after working there for it was either 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say 2 weeks of working there, the pandemic hit and I got laid off. I got laid off. So I paid for the resume and I got the job, then I got laid off, and then nobody was hiring. So but the second time I went to her, I was like, I want you to add this on to it. She was like, just add it. I was like, nah, I need you to do it because your words are different from mine. I hate to have this perfect resume and then my layman term insert right there that kind of throws it off. So she charged me $25 to do it. So I know I paid $25 the second time and it was worth it. It was worth it. And then I got the job that I have now with all these great benefits that I can use, all this vacation time, all this stuff. But I challenge you again to make this list. I challenge you to get someone to do your resume. And to be honest with you, I believe that there are some free resume services online. Or if you Google, there are some terms and some descriptions that you can put in your resume for yourself. And there are also templates that you can use. But if you're not comfortable using that and doing it yourself, then of course I'm going to ask that you pay somebody. And I'm not saying live below your means and go without so that you can pay somebody, but it's going to cost. It's going to cost. And you might find somebody who can do it for less than $45. I'm not sure. But again, there are a lot of services out there. You just have to look for them. As a matter of fact, and this is coming off the top of my head, so I'm not sure if it's true or not. Um, Go check it out for yourself. But you could probably get someone to write your resume at the library. It seems like they have those services at the library too. So just get that. Or if you trust your own words, then go ahead and apply for another job. Write out how much money you're going to need to pay the bills that you have. Write out how much money you're going to need to do the things that you want to do outside of your bills. Add that up. Figure out how much time you want to work. If it's 40 hours a week and then an extra 40 hours of overtime or whatever it is, go ahead and add that up, get your numbers together, and then go online and look for a job. And people are accepting applications online all the time. Now, they might not be hiring all of the time, but there are people who are accepting applications online all the time. And I'm going to challenge you to do something else. Don't get so desperate in your job search that you say, you know what? I could just work two jobs, you know, at minimum wage. I could just work two jobs. I mean, it don't pay a lot because if I work a job that pays $12 an hour and a job that pays $10 an hour, that's $22 an hour. Yeah, but you're working so many hours a week just to accommodate the time that it takes to make the money that you need. I want you to find one job that covers all of your expenses. Because if you're smart enough to log on to listen to this podcast, if you are smart enough to use the internet, if you are smart enough to use social media, if you can type on a computer and you can read and you can write and you can spell and you can speak good English, then there are a lot of jobs out there that you can get. You don't have to settle for less. But if you're like I was back in the day, I felt like, well, let me just take what I can get. And the problem with that is you take what you can get, they give it to you, and then they work you so hard that you're like, I hate this job. I hate this job. But they're going to work you so hard for that little bit of money that you're going to end up to where all your hours are going to be spent at that job. And remember, I already said they're not going to let you use the vacation time that you have. So it's not like you're going to be able to say, I don't want to go to work today. I'm going to go look for jobs because now you're missing money. You're losing money and you already not making enough money to cover your needs. So don't put yourself in a position to where you are trapped to the point where you cannot better yourself because you chose the job that you have. And I think that's why people tell people all the time, like, well, you chose the job. Didn't nobody tell you to work there? You chose the job. And that's true. We do choose our jobs. We do choose our careers. People don't come knocking on our doors telling us, hey, we're hiring. Will you please come work for us? We have a limo waiting outside. We even have a uniform in your size. Come on out here and work with us. People aren't doing that. We are searching for jobs. We are searching for jobs. And the only time somebody comes looking for you is whenever you have a resume out there that you have submitted or you have submitted your credentials and they're looking for you that way. So the jobs that we have, we choose. The jobs that we get that we don't like, that we go to all these days, all these weekends, all these nights, we chose those jobs. So stop choosing jobs that you don't want that'll just get you through, because that's how people, whenever they be like, a job is better than nothing. In most cases, having a job is better than nothing. But if you're going to apply for a position that you think you absolutely deserve, apply for more than one. Don't be sitting at your home saying, I put in an application at the bank and they say they're going to get back to me. And then you just sitting at home for like 3 months waiting. Put in applications at multiple places, but I do not suggest that you use monster.com, because I used monster.com, and after you submit your resume, it'll say, would you like to submit your resume to these 50 other places? And you're like, yeah, but it doesn't show you the 50 other places. It does not. But those 50 other places get your application and they get your resume. And then you get a call like, hey, you got an interview. And you're like, okay, that happened to me, y'all. I had gotten a call like, "Hey, we got your resume," and I thought it was a scam because like I didn't apply to here. And I get there, it was a bank. It was actually a bank, y'all. I didn't even know what I had applied for. And I get there and they're like, we'll be right with you. We're going to have two other people step in for the interview. I'm like, okay, I'm texting my cousin, like, girl, I'm at this interview at this bank. Can you look it up and see what they're hiring for? And she hit me back like immediately. She's like, yep, they're hiring for this. Does that sound right? I was like, I don't know. So when they come in, I was like, so now the position that I'm interviewing for, what's the title again? They told me it was exactly what my cousin said. I can't remember what it was today because it was like years ago. And they come in there and they were like, well, do you know the history of the bank? And I'm like, no. Well, do you know the functions of your no, I know none of that. Y'all, if you're gonna apply for a job on monster.com, you might just have to do it individually, because monster.com will have you sitting somewhere like looking very fraudish, looking like a fraud, and you don't want that. Um, but yeah, put in your application in more than one place. Put your best foot forward. And ladies, OMG, how can I say this? Your interview outfit, okay? I've seen it time and time again because we all wear the same things. Whenever you are coming from a job that doesn't pay much, your interview outfit probably gonna look like mine. Some black slacks that fit but don't fit. Um, I had some slacks with that, I guess, that polyester lining in them, so it made them extra thick. I've had the slacks that were irregularly made. So one leg was like kind of scrunching up on the inside. I've had the kind where no matter how much you iron them, those wrinkles are not coming out. I've had the kind that fit around my waist when I put them on. And then by the time I sit in my vehicle and drive to where I'm going, they've loosened up and I look crazy. And then the black shoes that we be wearing. I'm not going to tell you to invest in some better shoes, because at this point we get what we can wear, right? And I used to wear those flat shoes, flat black shoes, those not slides because they had backs to them, but they would have those beads or those sequins across the top, or I just had the flat ones, or I had those fur boots, not really fur, but they were like, I guess, velvet type boots with the fur at the top, and I would have my pants leg pulled over that, and I would have tops that didn't fit right, but you know what I'm saying. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, even though even though you may not have um an interview outfit that looks better than what I just described, there you may have a friend or a relative that is the same size as you that could loan you an outfit that you can wear. Just say, hey, I just need it for an interview. Once I get this job and I get some money, I'll buy me some more clothes. But see, the whole point of doing interviews is to get out of the situation that you're in. So don't go to a job that's like the job you have, because you're still not going to like it. You're still not going to want to work it, and you're going to be complaining, right? So see if there's somebody who has clothes that are more appealing, that'll make you look like the money that you're trying to make. Okay. Whenever it comes to your hair, now this is just me. I used to wear wigs, and looking back, my wigs made me look older, because They just did. I used to buy the short ones. um, I don't even want to talk about it. But y'all know the short wigs that a lot of people wear to the job interviews, or the wigs that need to be combed. I it never looked like it needed to be combed. I just looked way older than what I was when I was applying for these jobs. But ladies, if you got hair, slick it back into a nice, neat ponytail. And don't use gel. Get like that sleek edges stuff and slick your hair down and put it in a ponytail. Okay. And make sure you wear a pair of earrings. I just feel like every woman should own a pair of earrings, even if it's the little studs, the little diamond looking studs, Cupid zirconia, or whatever, the shiny studs, or even if you have a nice pair of pearls. Don't have to be real, of course, but just get you a pair of earrings that you can wear and grease up your lips. It doesn't have to be the glossy, glossy lip gloss, but put some Vaseline in something. Don't go in there with your lips dry, okay? And go in there and look nice. But again, get you an outfit from somebody. Get you an outfit from somebody and some shoes. Like, girl, you can't let me borrow these shoes. You know I'm trying. You know I'm trying my best. Because this is 2025. Everybody should have a nice pair of shoes, or they should know somebody who has a nice outfit that you can borrow, right? But the whole point of this episode is to say, instead of trying to, whenever people say live below your means, if you don't have the means, if you don't have the money, if you don't have the resources to cut back a little bit, then you're going to have to increase it. And if you pay all your bills and you know that the extra stuff you want to do per month, including the gas that you have to put in your car, if that's $600 more, then you're going to have to make more than $600 past your bills to live below your means. So that means you might have to find a job that after you pay your bills, you got $1,000. And you like, well, shoot, I don't need but 600. So I can live below my means. I can live $400 below my means. Or you can say the extra stuff I want to do every month is $400. And even if you make $500 more than your bills, that means you can live $100 below your means. But don't be out here listening to people saying, oh, I had to pause for a minute, y'all. So excuse me. So I'm going to pick up where I thought I left off. Um, if people are telling you that you need to put aside money, or if people are telling you you need to stop doing the extra things you do, nobody wants to go through life not living. Nobody wants to go through life just existing. Like, we all want to enjoy our lives. We all want to enjoy our time off of work. We all want to be able to take a break or have a vacation. We all want to look pretty. We all want to feel pretty. We all want to socialize. We all want to be a part of something. We all want to have friends. We all want to have peace whenever we go home. We all want to live in a place where we have space to relax. Like, there's nothing like coming into a house where, or an apartment, anything in a dwelling. There's nothing like coming home and your house is so small that you don't have any space to sit anything down. You don't have anywhere to kick your feet up. Um, it's just stuffy. Maybe no matter what you do to try to clean up, there's always something in the way. Nobody wants to live like that. I have lived like that before, and it is, I don't want to say it's miserable, but it's not comfortable. And I believe that everyone deserves to live in comfort, no matter what your comfort is. Even if you have a home that has a porch, and whenever you feel claustrophobic or you feel stuffy in your house, you can go out on your porch. You can go out in your yard. You can go out in the neighborhood and you can walk around. You can socialize with people. Everybody deserves that. So I don't want anyone who is listening to this, I don't want you to feel like you're not making enough money and you're never going to make enough money. I want you to feel like the world has endless opportunities and you are about to start grabbing them. Okay, whatever it is you want to do in life, there, you think that we are out here having all these dreams and having all these goals and deciding things that we want to do because we can't do them. No, there's no such thing as impossible. I don't believe so, especially if you already have a small mindset. So if you're sitting here thinking, I, I I don't only need 2 bedrooms, but I want a 3 bedroom apartment. I want a 3 bedroom house. I want to rent something this year, and then next year I want to move to another city and rent something differently. If you're having those thoughts, then you can absolutely do that. If you're thinking, look, I want to have $5,000 in the bank. If you're thinking, shoot, I want to save up $10,000 in 3 years, you can do that. If you're thinking, I want to take a week long vacation, And then for my birthday, I want to celebrate the whole month. A lot of people celebrate their birthdays for the whole month. And the people who do that, sometimes they take off a whole month for their birthday. And I feel like you, whoever you are listening to this, I believe that you deserve that. Whatever it's going to take for that to happen, I believe that you deserve for it to happen. So go out there. And again, I'm going to have a worksheet attached to this podcast. So look down in the show notes. If you're on Spotify, it's going to be a link in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be a link in the show notes. Just click on it. Um, Now on YouTube, I don't know if my links work yet, so just copy it. Maybe I'll put it in the anyway. If you can't click the link in my in the show notes, then I'll have a link somewhere. But it's gonna be there somewhere for y'all. Okay. um yeah, go ahead and click the link so that you can get the worksheet because I want you to work through this and I want you to find the resources so that you can make more money. Okay. I know a lot of people don't like to have the conversation of money unless they're talking about they're broke, but nah, I want y'all to build yourselves up because I'm recording this episode in January of 2025. You might not hear it until February because today is January 29th, but whenever you hear this episode, I want you to know that you can make more money. You can do better things. Again, you're sitting on your skills. You are sitting on your gifts because someone or something has made you feel like you don't have to talk about what you're good at. There is a lot of things that you have done in life that you know you should be out here saying, "Oh, but I can do that. I'm good at that. I can speak like that. I can write like that. I can draw up this data. I can draw up this picture. I can do these scales. I can do these graphs. I can do these charts. I'm a good public speaker. I can talk in front of people. I'm a great leader. I've led a group of 4 people. I've led a group of 11 people. I can take on more people than that. I'm a great listener, and whenever I say I'm a great listener, that means I'm a great problem solver. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things out here. So definitely, definitely work on your resume and work on talking yourself up because we're not going to be out here living small no more. We're not going to be out here making just enough money to pay our bills and then going without things because we don't have enough money. There's money out here. I don't care what anybody says. There is money out here. And you don't have to be the person who always starts a business. That's something else that people with money like to tell people is start a business. You can start out with $25 a month. You can start out with $100 just to get started. And guess what? I did those businesses and it took a lot of my money. It took a lot of my money because a lot of those businesses that I started, I was under some, I'm not going to say mentors because they were not mentors. I was under people who were greedy, who were looking out for themselves, and they were not explaining the business correctly, and they had all of us losing our money. So I'm not going to tell you to start a business now. What I'm going to say is some people need to be workers, at least be workers first. So we're going to get your money up in 2025. All right. But as far as everything else, I want you to decide what it is you want to do. And I want you to already picture this and think of this as if you already have the money. That's what I want you to do. Because sometimes we think of stuff as if we don't have the money because currently you may not have it. And when you don't have the money, it's easy to say, "Oh, I want to get my nails done. Probably like once every 3 months. If I could just get them done once every 3 months. If I could just get me an outfit, like just for my birthday. If I could just get my hair done for my birthday. If I could just get me another car, not like, I don't need like a little 2024, 2025. If I could just get like a 2010 Honda Accord, that would be good. No, no, I want you to talk like you got the money and it ain't nothing. And then I want you to go out there and make the money so that you can get whatever it is you want and have some money left over. There's nothing, and I'm telling you, nothing in the world like having somebody ask you to do something at the last minute and you like, yeah, I can do it. Or there's nothing like you sitting at home on a Saturday and you told yourself, I'm not doing nothing today. I'm going to relax. And then you step outside and you're like, dang, it's 80 degrees. I'm going to the beach. It's 80 degrees. I'm going downtown. It's 75 degrees. I'm going down to the lake, put my feet in the water. Oh, it's 80 degrees. I'm going out here to be on the town. I'm going to get me a drink. I'm going to the food trucks. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm going to put on this outfit. It's nothing like saying, "Oh, it's 30 degrees outside. Let me go to this fire pit and sit out here and roast some marshmallows." There is nothing like having so much freedom and so much time and so much opportunity to do things that you just do them. It doesn't even have to be that somebody invited you to do it. It's just you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, some people be like, "Oh, I had an extra $10 left over this month. I had an extra $15. What if you had an extra $150?" Now, I'm not gonna say any extravagant numbers. Like, what if you had an extra 5,000? We're gonna take baby steps to get you to where you need to be. Because I am 42 years old, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was 40 years old when I got the job that I have now. 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I was 40 years old whenever I got the job that I have now. So I'm not going to make it seem like it's something that happened overnight. But I have been the person where I can't go nowhere because I don't have no money, and I don't want nobody paying my way because I don't want to look like a charity case. I've been the person where I didn't even have enough money to get gas, so I'm calling out of work because I get paid in 2 days. I'll be at work in 2 days, and I don't want to ask nobody for no money. I've been the person who has had to ride the city bus for 2.5 years straight because I didn't have a car. I didn't have money to get the car, and the only reason I could afford to ride on the bus is because I used to go to um a college and in Guilford County, well, in Greensboro, North Carolina, if you have a college ID, you can ride the bus for free. Somebody told me that, and keep in mind, I wasn't even in college anymore, but I found that college ID and I rode the bus for free for 2.5 years. And my son was riding with me, and he was a toddler, so he rode for free. And that's the only way I got around Greensboro is because I had a college ID to a college that I didn't go to anymore. But there's nothing like wanting to go somewhere and you're like, "Damn, I gotta catch a darn bus." The place you want to go is like 20 minutes away, but it's gonna take you an hour and a half to get there because you got to keep switching buses. There's nothing like it. And so I went through that. I've had the income based housing where people come in your apartment anytime they want to without telling you, and they do their inspections and they find this wrong and they find that wrong. I've had the food stamps. I've had my food stamps cut off. I've had my food stamps decreased. I've had my rent go up at an income based apartment go up higher than what I could afford. I've had and whenever it went up higher than what I could afford, I believe my rent went up to like 200, 300 something dollars. And I was like, "I can't afford this." They was like, "Well, you got to afford it for the next year." I've had all those things happen to me. And then at the age of 40, I guess some people would say at the ripe age of 40. I don't know when they say ripe, but I'm saying at the ripe age of 40, I had decided for my 40th birthday, I was going to New Orleans for my 40th birthday to go to Essence Festival for the very first time. And I said, when I turn 40, I am going to enter into my soft woman era. And it just so happens when I came back from New Orleans, the job that I have now, my cousin who worked there was like, "Come work with us." It's like, "Girl, I'm not coming to work over there. And plus my truck is messed up." Y'all, my truck messed up Saturday before I went to New Orleans. And I believe I was supposed to be going to New Orleans like that Wednesday or that Thursday. And my truck messed up. And so I had to pay over $100 for a tow truck. So that took out of the money that I was taking to New Orleans. And I had already spent money to fly myself and my son to New Orleans first class. I was like, "I don't care what's going on with the world, we flying first class." And we did. But whenever we got back, I had to have somebody to pick me up from the airport. And then that's when my cousin was like, "Come work with us." And I was like, "No." She's like, "Girl." And I was like, "My truck don't even work." She was like, "Okay, so if you can't afford to get your truck fixed, don't you think you need some money?" And I came and got this job, and here I am 3 years later. I've gotten a promotion. I've gotten employee of the month after 6 months of being there, and I am doing very well. So another thing is with these, whenever you're looking for a job, sometimes you're gonna have to take something that seems like out of the ordinary, something that does not seem like you, but it's gonna pay the bills exceedingly and abundantly, and you're gonna have to find some new skills in the world. Okay, so I just want to say that today. Thank you for stopping by for this episode. I hope that you all will go back and listen to some of the previous episodes that I have. I hope that y'all will continue to support me. I appreciate y'all sticking by me this long. I am Tasha with Girlfriend Let Me Tell You the podcast because I have something to say. I'll talk to y'all soon. Wait, before you go, did you enjoy this episode? Well, listen to some of my other episodes. I'm pretty sure you'll like those too. And while you're at it, take a moment to join my emailing list at girlfriendletmetellyu.com. You do not want to miss what I have coming up for you. Thank you again, as always, for your continued support, and share this with somebody. Tell them about me. I'd appreciate that too.